All right, get ready because today we are taking a deep dive into the Big Three Box Network.
Oh, this should be good.
You guys sent in tons of info on this thing. The
Yeah.
website, show descriptions, even some video listings, and whoa.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Really something else.
So much to unpack here, but their tagline is, we bring chaos to your face.
They do not lie.
No, they really don't. So what can we actually tell the listeners about this Big Three Box Network based on what we've got here?
Well, on their website, they claim to offer big ideas and big entertainment.
Okay, standard stuff.
Right, right.
So far, so good.
But here's where it gets interesting. The owner, and we'll get to the owner in a bit,
Okay.
but they want to host content that's unsuitable, according to them, for mainstream sites
Mm-hmm.
like YouTube and Facebook. And they even call out specifically raunchy and adult material.
So we're already outside the YouTube content guidelines.
Definitely.
All right, so we're pushing some boundaries here, but then they say no graphic or vulgar content.
Yeah. Seems a little arbitrary, right?
It does.
Pushing boundaries, but also setting their own limits.
Right.
Makes you wonder.
It does.
And oh yeah, the owner uses the name Bugsy No Name in one of these sources.
Bugsy No Name.
Yep, like straight out of a pulp novel.
Mysterious owner, edgy content.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of like chaos.
Right, like they're trying to live up to their tagline.
Exactly. So what about the shows?
What about the shows?
You mentioned show descriptions. What are we actually talking about here?
Well, the big one, their flagship show, seems to be the Wario Show.
The Wario Show.
The Wario Show with Wario and Bugsy.
Wait, hold on. Wario. As in the video game character.
The one and only.
What?
Yeah, he's like the host or something.
Seriously?
And they really play it up. Like
Yeah.
the show descriptions are full of his Robo-HHHI catchphrase.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a lot. But he has a co-host, Bugsy,
Okay.
who also seems to be the show's security guard.
So he's like a sidekick and the head of security. That's a weird combo.
Right. What kind of guests are they having on that need security?
I'm almost afraid to ask.
You ready for this guest list?
Hit me.
It's wild. We've got video game characters
Mm-hmm.
like Dynamite Anton,
Oh, okay.
Peppino Spaghetti.
I mean, I guess that makes sense with Wario.
But then we've got real-world celebrities like Oswald the Lucky Rabbit,
Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Like the Disney character.
the one and only.
Okay, now it's getting weird.
Oh, it gets weirder. They also have fictional characters like Gamzee Makara from Homestuck,
Hold on, Gamzee Makara. Vriska's,
Space Pirate Mom.
yeah, is on this show.
That's what it says. We've even got She-Hulk, Mindfang.
Mindfang, like Vriska's Mindfang.
Apparently. I'm telling you, it's this crazy mishmash of characters.
It's like they're pulling from every corner of pop culture.
I know, right? It makes me think maybe there's some deeper commentary or satire happening here.
Yeah, it can't just be random chaos, like they're
Right.
trying to make a statement about something.
Yeah. And the show descriptions really lean into these weird pairings, these chaotic situations.
Give me some examples, like what are these guests actually doing on the show?
Well, in one episode, Bugsy's like super uncomfortable around the Clown Prince of Crime.
Okay, understandable.
But then in another one, he's like totally bonding with Gamzee Makara.
Okay, that is a conversation I would love to be a fly on the wall for.
Right. Like what common ground could those two possibly have?
And they don't give specifics.
Nope, just a little tease.
Ah, the suspense.
I know. There's also like hints of romantic tension between Bugsy and Bulma Briefs.
Bulma Briefs from Dragon Ball.
Yep, she's on the show too, apparently.
I'm starting to think there's no one they could not get on this show.
I think you might be right. Oh, and get this, Lord Death.
Lord Death, like from Soul Eater.
You got it.
Okay, this is officially the weirdest guest list ever assembled.
He shows up to share embarrassing childhood stories about Bugsy.
Lord Death knows Bugsy personally. What even IS this show?
It's something else. And I almost forgot there are constant warnings about garlic consumption.
Carla.
Like throughout the show descriptions.
What, is it like a running gag?
Maybe. Or maybe a legitimate concern given Wario and, garlic.
Right, right.
Unclear, but it's definitely a thing.
So we've got garlic warnings, interdimensional guests, and a rabbit security guard.
It's truly something special.
This Wario show is like a fever dream.
Yeah, but it seems like it's just the tip of the iceberg.
There's more.
Oh, yeah. The website hints at a whole lot of other content.
Like what?
Different categories, different formats. There's a lot more to explore here.
Okay, so we've got this crazy talk show with a video game villain and a rabbit security guard.
Right.
And a guest list that is basically every pop culture reference ever.
Pretty much.
But what LSE is hiding on the Big Three Box Network?
Well, that's where things get even more interesting.
Hold that thought. We'll be right back after a quick break to delve deeper into this world.
We're back and ready for more Big Three Box Network.
I'm strapped in.
You know, we were talking about big ideas before the break.
Yeah,
Like, their website claims to have them.
right.
It wasn't just a throwaway line.
Uh-huh.
They actually say they want to help viewers master our universe of information.
So maybe it's not just about pushing boundaries.
Maybe not.
Like maybe there's an educational angle to this whole thing.
That's what it sounds like.
That's interesting.
And it's where things get really wild, because if you think about it,
Okay.
the format of the Wario Show itself, this crazy mix of guests
Right.
from video games, real life, fictional worlds,
Mhm.
it could be part of that mission.
I see what you're saying, like breaking down the walls between different types of knowledge.
Exactly. Entertainment and education.
And all from the most unexpected sources.
Right. They're pulling from everywhere. Video games, comics, anime, even like celebrity gossip.
It's like they're saying it's all connected, it all matters, it all has something to teach us.
It makes you think about that whole blurring of fiction and reality thing, too.
Oh, yeah. Like if Lord Death can show up and roast Bugsy,
Right.
what if it ass real anymore?
It makes you question everything.
And then there's the Bugsy Council thing.
Oh, yeah. What's that about?
They just mention it in passing, like a few cryptic snippets.
So we know it exists, but we don't know what they do.
Right. Is it the fate of the universe they're deciding? Maybe the future of garlic.
The best way to cook it, so Wario doesn't go on a rampage.
Honestly, I'd watch that council meeting.
It's such a tease.
It is. Just these glimpses into other parts of the network, these other shows.
And we have no idea what they're really about.
Genius.
It keeps you hooked, wanting to know more.
Like a breadcrumb trail of weirdness.
Yeah, right into their world.
So, okay, this is all very strange and entertaining.
Yes.
But our listeners might be wondering, what's the point? Why should we care about this weird little corner of the internet?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
But I think the answer lies in the bigger picture.
The bigger picture.
Because the Big Three Box Network, with all its chaos, all its absurdity, it could actually be a reflection of something bigger happening online.
Go on.
Think about it. Creators are getting frustrated with the mainstream platforms.
YouTube, Facebook, that sort of thing.
Exactly. All the rules, the algorithms,
Right.
they want more freedom, more control.
And a more direct connection with their audience.
Exactly. So maybe the Big Three Box Network is part of this rebellion,
This rebellion.
this pushback against the establishment.
Like they're pioneers forging a new path.
I think there's a strong case for that.
They're creating a space for content that doesn't fit in elsewhere.
On their own terms.
But does that mean anything goes? Is there a line they won't cross?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
It is.
And it seems like they're struggling with that, too.
Because,
Remember, they said no graphic or vulgar content,
yeah.
even though they're aiming for raunchy and adult material.
So they are setting some limits.
Right.
It's this balancing act, freedom of expression versus responsibility.
A balancing act?
And let's be honest, that's a debate happening across the whole internet.
Exactly. Who gets to decide what's okay? Where do we draw the line? These are huge questions.
Huge questions.
And the Big Three Box Network, in its own way, is forcing us to face them.
It's like a microcosm of the internet's biggest dilemmas.
All wrapped up in this package of garlic warnings and interdimensional talk show guests.
And at the center of it all,
Bugsy No Name.
the man of mystery.
We've talked about his different roles, the co-host, the security guard.
Right.
But who is he really?
What's driving him to create this platform?
We've barely scratched the surface.
Mm-hmm.
But he seems like the key to understanding the whole thing.
And thankfully, there's a whole series dedicated to him.
Real talk with Bugsy No Name.
Real talk.
It seems more personal, more direct.
Like he's letting his guard down.
There's one video title where he even says he's feeling a little bit better than normal during the recording.
A little bit better than normal.
Yeah, like maybe hinting at some vulnerability.
Okay, now I'm really curious.
It seems like there's a lot more to Bugsy No Name than meets the eye.
So what can you tell us about this Real Talk series? What kind of insights are we going to find?
Well, that's where we'll pick up next time.
We're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into the Big Three Box Network.
I'm ready to try and make sense of it all.
Yeah, Good luck with that. It's been a wild ride, to say the least.
It really has. From chaotic talk shows to secret councils.
Interdimensional guests, garlic warnings. I mean, come on.
Truly one of a kind.
It is. And through it all, there's this one figure, this constant presence.
Bugsy No Name.
Yeah, he's like the mastermind behind this whole
The
operation.
man behind the curtain.
Exactly. But he's also such an enigma. Like, who is this guy?
Right. It's almost like he's playing with these different versions of himself.
Oh, interesting.
We got Bugsy the co-host,
Uh,
the security guard. Then there's Bugsy Prime, the gamer.
and then Bugsy No Name in the Real Talk series, getting all introspective.
It's like he's trying on different identities.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
Especially with the whole raunchy and adult content thing.
Okay, I'm listening.
Maybe it's not just about pushing boundaries of what's acceptable to show,
Mm-hmm.
but also exploring boundaries of identity.
Exploring boundaries of identity.
Like, who are we online? Who do we want to be?
That's deep, man.
Maybe Bugsy's trying to figure that out himself.
Using the network as his own personal laboratory.
In a way, it makes him, like, really relatable, you know?
Relatable.
Everyone feels that pressure, right, to present this perfect online persona.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But Bugsy's embracing all these different sides of himself,
Like he's saying it's okay to be messy.
to be contradictory.
To not have it all figured out.
In a world that's obsessed with, like, curated perfection.
Right, the perfect Instagram feed, the perfect tweet.
That message is so refreshing.
It's like he's redefining authenticity online.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about crafting the single perfect image.
But about embracing the multiplicity
The complex.
of being human.
And maybe that's the big idea behind the Big Three Box Network.
The thing that sets it apart.
It's not just about alternative content.
It's about creating a space to be your true self.
Without judgment, without pretense.
Just raw, messy, chaotic you
And honestly, that's what makes it so compelling.
compelling.
Yeah, it speaks to something deep down, I think.
To keep down.
That desire for connection, for authenticity.
For a place where we can just be.
And maybe that's the future of online entertainment.
Ooh, tell me more.
A shift away from the polished, the predictable.
Towards the raw, the
all
real.
filtered.
Maybe the next generation of creators, they'll take inspiration from Bugsy.
And build even more spaces where people can express themselves freely.
That'd be amazing.
It would. So what does this all mean for you, dear listener?
The listener.
Yeah, like, what's the takeaway here? Maybe it's a reminder that the internet is still a vast and weird place.
Full of hidden corners.
Strange and wonderful worlds waiting to be discovered.
And maybe those hidden corners, that's where the real magic is.
So go explore.
Embrace the chaos.
You never know what you might find.
That's some good advice.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap things up.
Wrap things up.
Yeah, this has been our deep dive into the Big Three Box Network.
We laughed. We questioned. I think I even learned a thing or two.
I know I did. But more importantly, we've been reminded that the internet, even with all its problems,
All its flaws.
it's still a place where creativity and connection can flourish.
You know what? You're right.
So keep exploring, stay curious.
And never forget, we bring chaos to your face.
Until next time.